Have you ever noticed how a single word can steal your peace for an entire day? Someone speaks harshly and your heart burns with anger. A neighbor ignores your greeting and you cannot stop thinking about it. But here is an ancient truth. No one can disturb your peace unless you open the door and invite them in. This is the story of Layla and how one meeting changed her life forever. Once upon a time, in a bustling market town, there lived a young woman named Layla who helped her father run a spice shop. Layla was clever and hard-working, but she had one great weakness. She took everything to heart. If a customer complained about the price, Layla argued for hours. If another merchant looked at her the wrong way, she couldn't sleep that night. If children knocked over her display, she shouted until her throat was sore. Her father would say gently, "Daughter, why do you carry every stone that's thrown at you? Your basket is full of rocks that aren't even yours." Layla would reply, "Father, people must learn respect. If I stay silent, they will think I'm weak." But inside, she was exhausted. Every evening, she lay awake, replaying arguments, preparing speeches for people who would never hear them. One autumn morning, a retired healer arrived in the marketplace. He was an old man with a long white beard, wearing simple robes. He sat beneath the date palm tree near the well and closed his eyes. People whispered that he had spent his life healing troubled minds and had learned the secrets of inner peace. Layla's father said, "Daughter, perhaps you should speak with this man." Layla laughed bitterly. "What can an old healer teach me? He doesn't have to deal with rude customers every day." But that very afternoon, a wealthy merchant's son came to buy saffron. When Layla named her price, the young man sneered, "Your saffron is not worth half that amount. Even the beggar's dog wouldn't want it." Layla's face burned with rage. Before she could stop herself, she grabbed a clay jar and threw it on the ground, shattering it. "Get out of my shop." The young man left, laughing. But Layla stood there, shaking, surrounded by broken pottery and spilled spices. She had lost money, lost a sale, and worst of all, she had given that arrogant boy exactly what he wanted, proof that he could upset her. That night, Layla could not sleep. Before dawn, she walked to the marketplace. The sage still sat beneath the date palm tree, as peaceful as the morning itself. "Old man, I am tired," she said. "People make me so angry I cannot think straight." The sage opened his eyes and smiled. "Sit down, child. When someone throws a stone at you, what do? "I throw it back harder," Layla answered. "And how do you feel afterward?" Layla paused, angry, empty, and tired. The sage nodded. "Come with me." He led her to the small lake at the edge of town. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the sky like a mirror. The sage picked up a stone and tossed it into the center. Ripples spread across the surface, disturbing the reflection. "Watch," he said. They waited in silence. Slowly, the ripples faded. The water became still again. The reflection returned. "The stone is gone," said the sage, "but if you kept throwing stones into the water, would it ever become still? That is what you do to yourself. Someone throws one stone, one insult, one harsh word, but you keep throwing more stones into your own heart. You replay it, rehearse your anger, imagine what you should have said. The other person threw one stone, but you throw 100. Layla felt tears sting her eyes. But how do I stop? The sage held out his hand, palm up. If I offer you a hot coal and you take it, who gets burned? I do, Layla said. When someone offers you anger or insult, you don't have to accept it. You can simply let their words fall to the ground. He picked up a handful of sand and poured it into her hands. Now hold it tightly. Squeeze your fists. Layla squeezed. The sand pressed against her palms, sharp and uncomfortable. That is what happens when you grip your anger tightly. It hurts you. Now open your hands. Layla opened her hands. The sand fell away, leaving her palms clean. When you open your hands, the sand has no power over you. The same is true with words from others. The sage gave her a practice. Every time someone upsets you, before you react, count to 10. In those 10 counts, remember, you are holding sand. You can choose to grip it or release it. The first test came quickly. A woman accused Layla of selling stale cumin. The old Layla would have shouted. Instead, she felt the fire rise in her chest. "Let me replace it for you," Layla said calmly. The woman was so surprised she softened immediately. "Oh, perhaps I stored it wrong. Never mind." Layla felt something strange peace. She had not gripped the sand. But the real test came a few days later. The same arrogant merchant's son returned with his friends. They stood outside her shop, mocking her. "Look, the jar-throwing spice seller. Does she have any pottery left?" Layla felt her blood boil. Her fists clenched. She wanted to scream at them. The anger was like a wild horse inside her chest. But then she remembered the lake. 1 stone or 100. She remembered the sand. Grip it or release it. Then she smiled and said calmly, "You are right. I did break a jar that day. I let anger control me, and I regret it. But I'm learning something better now." The young men fell silent, confused. They had come for a fight, but found none. Without fuel for their mockery, they simply walked away. Word spread through the marketplace that Layla had changed. She no longer shouted. When insulted, she smiled. When disrespected, she remained dignified. On the day the sage prepared to leave, Layla came to thank him with the finest saffron as a gift. "Master, you saved me from myself." The sage smiled. "Remember this always. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a space. In that space lives your freedom. Most people never find that space, but you have found it. Guard it well." Years passed, and Layla became known as the most peaceful merchant in the land. When someone was angry or hurt, they came to her for counsel. She would show them the sand and share the wisdom the sage had given her. This story teaches us something every soul must learn. We cannot control what others say or do, but we always control what we catch and what we release. When someone insults you or tries to disturb your peace, remember Layla, you don't have to catch the stone. You don't have to grip the sand. The one who controls their reaction controls their life. So the next time the world tries to upset you, count to 10 and whisper to yourself, "I choose peace over reaction." Let the stones fall at your feet. Keep your hands open. This is the way of true strength.